a better resistance to those type of things, and also proactive thinking, you know, too. Okay, so if we don't want gentrification, what do we want? What does this look like if Boyle Heights is, quote unquote, developed for the residents that live here? You know, if this is going to be an arts corridor, which it is already, but if it is going to become more of an arts corridor, what do we want? You know, do we want more bars? Probably not. You know, what do we want? So,
right.
Other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just important. With the theme of gentrification, is there's a counter argument that people say, well, you know, bring a lot of development and this and that, but they always forget about inclusion. The main thing is about including. There's already people here, so why not include them in that progress? Include them in that change. So things change for them, for the better of the community itself. Yeah. Just, you know, like, you know, and if you want to draw a parallel with these animals, it's like, well, you know, now we encroach upon them, make life better for them too. I mean, it's like, they're part of this. They've been here way before we have.
Questions?
Any other questions?
Yeah. Hey guys. I recently was biking by the LA River, and I had been seeing all this press around how great it was that everybody could be like on their the little rafts, right? Going through the LA River, and I hadn't really like reflected on it. And this last time that I was biking through, there was these signs just talking about how it was totally displacing the animals in the river. So I don't know if you, so like as we're talking about this in gentrification, really it's also like a gentrifying force, right? Like who's really like saying, let's raft the LA River, right? And how it's really displacing animals. Like, were you guys aware of that, or have you, thought that through?
I heard about the rafting and all that stuff, but I hadn't seen the
ducks and like obviously like you don't realize, but like if you're going through the rafts, then obviously the animals won't have any space.
As they plan on also developing, there's something that's really weird too. Is they're trying to develop, or they're going to, it's a matter of time, they're going to redevelop this whole river area. What's crazy is that, you know, there used to be a great habitat for thousands of species of plants, native plants and animals, and then as part of that, they're going to bring that back. It's like, what does that say about quote-unquote development? It's like, really think about what we do before we start doing, you know, just crazy stuff like that in the name of money and greed, really.
There's a great book called City of Quartz that is being sold here by Mike Davis.
That's about that.
Get it. There's also, moving on, we'd like to share maybe a couple more songs, because we've been, we have time for one or two, right?
The last two.
The last two? Well, there's, you know, in the city too, it's like, we live in the city environment, we're a product of it, we're surrounded, we live, breathe the city, but there are so many things that we just don't notice, so many things that we don't give a second thought to, and we walk by them every single day. I mean, the genesis of this album was a song called Hormiguitas Divinas, which is about ants. When was the last time you stopped and looked at an ant and really saw like the beautiful labor and the really important labor that they have in that they represent in our whole world. And there's also, you know, another song about unrequited love, but through the eyes of a pigeon. You know, whatever. You know, pigeons have hearts too. but one of the ones that we wrote too, which was really cool, is about like an image that I had back in the day. I never thought I'd ever put it towards a song, even with Quetzal. But as when you know, how many times do you drive by a bridge here, like East LA, or any of the bridges crossing the river? And how many times have you looked underneath the bridge to see what's living in it? There's tons of stuff there. If you really take the time to look. I mean, yeah, most of the stuff you don't want to look at, like rats and bats and birds, but once in a while, but we should look at them because they're important. But one of the things I noticed one day was just this beautiful, it looked like a piece of trash hanging, and I realized it's a cocoon. Like, you see these things, if you really look at the little nooks and crannies, you're going to see them. And out of a cocoon, what comes out? A butterfly. You know, what do butterflies do? pollinize and do all these beautiful things for our environment. So it's like, it's also like the album is a calling to walk around your city and to notice all the beautiful things, all the little squirrels, all the little spiders and hormigas and butterflies and cocoons and so on, all these really marvelous things that surround us, that are here for us to see and enjoy.
The lyrics go, it bends to the wind, it shines by the light of the moon, a butterfly slowly appears, the freeway hums a familiar tune, protected from the shadows, city bridge cocoon. Like a blade of grass sprouting through concrete, nature's slow but steady might, city bridge, surrogate womb, city bridge cocoon.